Holy hey now, my friends, what did we just witness in the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian? I'll tell you what we just witnessed. A Star Wars religious experience that probably rivaled the feelings you first felt when you realized that this franchise was more than just special to your life. And no, you're not a wuss for weeping. This episode was Star Wars Zen perfected. Phew. I think I've reached a new level of Star Wars enlightenment with The Mandalorian, The Rescue, aka S2E8, aka the one where they actually did the thing I never thought they'd do, and now our fans will ensure I eat my words. Alright, let's get into the breakdown, starting with some Easter eggs, Star Wars references, cameos, and of course ending with this episode's best moments, and boy, were they some doozies or what. Up first, we get some Imperial shuttle action as the gang hunts down a Lambda-class shuttle to get some details from the good doctor. Apparently Boba is a hell of a pilot too, because dude continues to impress behind the stick of the Slave One. While in the shuttle, one of the two imps drops a Death Star 1 reference, and even brings up a popular fan point about the millions of deaths that occurred upon its destruction. The actors, by the way, were Luke Baines and Thomas Sullivan. When the Bounty Bros land on the planet to get Bo and Casca, we can see Bo-Katan's Gauntlet starfighter in the shipyard. Speaking of Bo-Katan, she takes a dig at the Double Bs by saying that not all Mandalorians are bounty hunters, to which Boba replies that he is not. So there's that again, confirming that Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian for those that like to keep score. While Boba and Casca are talking smack to each other, she drops a line about a Bacta tank. Sick ass burn, by the way, Casca. Bo also makes sure to remind Boba that he's a clone, and that she's heard his voice many times before, which is a great callback to the Clone Wars in all of his genetically modified bros. Hey look, a Death Star droid, not on a Death Star. Gideon provides some great references to Darksaber lore when he reminds everyone that it must be won in combat for the bearer to be the true ruler of Mandalore. But if you watch Star Wars Rebels, this seems to set up a plot hole because Bo accepted the saber from Sabine Wren without fighting her. So who knows where this is going? I'll have more to say on this in the best moment segment though. Okay, so I was completely wrong about my take on this show using a main from the Skywalker saga. And so were most of the rest of you, but I'll take my lumps unlike you haters who won't admit your own errors. As I did hold firm that Luke would not be the Jedi to show up. In fact, I essentially called it ludicrous. But in this instance, I'm glad I was freaking dead wrong, because seeing Red 5 show up, and then Luke in his peak Jedi form, complete with his green blade, about reduced me to a puddle of Star Wars fan goo. It knocked me on my ass emotionally, so I thank John, Dave, Peyton, and whoever else was involved in the call to bring Luke in, because it was ballsy as fuck, but brilliant nonetheless. And to add one extra emotionally charged punch, they roll R2's ass out. So after seeing him and Luke together, I nearly fainted due to the sheer level of fandom I was feeling at the moment, and will forever cherish that experience. Oh, you thought that was it? Nah, because we got a stinger featuring Bib Fortuna, played by Star Wars alum Matthew Wood, and the scene had many mirrored moments to Jabba's palace in ROTJ, such as Fennec's arrival, which mirrored Leia as Bao showing up, and of course one of the singers from the special edition, and I believe it's the one Boba flirted with. And then to top all that off, we see Fett take over the palace, and that the book of Boba Fett is due out in 2021. Apparently, I predicted the possibility of Fett running the joint on the Star Wars Time show, and a possible run-in with Bib Fortuna. So while I was dead wrong about Luke's return, I can at least pull random shit like this out of my Star Wars speculation ass from time to time. A fan pointed it out, by the way, so I'm not that big of a narcissist by mentioning my greatness right now. Alright, and now for the best moments. I thoroughly enjoyed everything about the interaction between Boba, Din, Bo, and Casca. From the moment Bo called them out as bounty hunters and took a dig at Boba's clone roots, to Boba vehemently confirming he's no Mando, this scene embodied pure Star Wars gold. You even got a fun scuffle between Boba and Casca, so everything about this meetup was radical. I also quite enjoyed watching Bo-Katan lay down the battle plan. It showed her prowess as a combat leader and how she can command a room. Of course, the resulting intrusion onto Gideon's cruiser was also a standout moment that featured some great visuals and tense interactions with the Empire. The four-lady hit squad was a blast to watch. In particular, I really appreciated the bridge passing in which the Mando girls did their thing after Fennec and Cara did their thing. You gotta love the fact that we got another Din gets his ass kicked for a bit scene when he tussles with the Dark Trooper. He is clearly the best ever Star Wars character at taking a beating and keeping on ticking, because he mostly served as a punching bag and a bullet sponge this season. But he did so like a boss and in style, I might add. Beskar, y'all. It's like a Timex watch, if you catch my drift. Anytime Giancarlo's given dialogue, it stands out, so I enjoyed his talk with Din and their subsequent fight. We finally got to see the Darksaber in action outside of being a can opener, and I thought their duel was pretty solid. I do think Gideon wanted to lose to set up some potential beef between Bo and Din, but I guess we will have to wait until next season to see how that plays out. Speaking of how the whole Darksaber issue will play out, again, I have to highlight Giancarlo's performance while he's gloating about how Bo needs to win the saber via combat. While to me it's a big plot hole based on how Rebels played out and Bo accepting the saber from Sabine without a fight, I still loved how Esposito played the moment. He's a damn good villain. Damn good. In terms of the plot hole about the saber, there's obviously the chance that Bo does ultimately accept it from Din, or we may learn that the reason she wasn't able to rule Mandalore the first time she had it in her possession was because she didn't earn it in combat. Therefore, some Mando clans didn't accept her as ruler. Who knows? Plot holes or not, the scene was great at providing further connective tissue between live-action Star Wars and its animated wing, so I appreciated it. Okay. Of course, Luke's return is the best moment of the series so far, and you have to love that they gave us a taste of a badass Luke. We finally got to see what he could do as he was peaking with his skills in the Force. There were flashes of his father's saber skills as he mowed down Dark Trooper after Dark Trooper, yet he moved with the calmness and patience of Yoda and Obi-Wan. I never thought they'd tap Luke for this show, because he wasn't needed. But now that he has arrived, I'm thankful for the balls the Mandalorian team has. Everything about his return made me feel mushy inside. It was religious. I sobbed tears of joy. I was instantly captivated and emotionally charged. Life, even for a few short minutes, felt perfect. Thank you, Luke, and thank you, R2. I needed a spiritual revival of some sorts, and you two imaginary characters came through. I'm not sure what that says about my mental health or well-being, but I do know it confirms my soul's dedication to this franchise, which has now captivated me for 4 decades. If the Luke and R2 moment weren't enough to get your tear ducts going, then the goodbye between Grogu and Din had to be your breaking point. That's unless you're a commie. I mean, how could you not be overwhelmed by these two parting ways? Especially when you get the moment where Din removes his helmet in front of everyone again, without a thought, I might add, to look upon Grogu with his own eyes, just like Anakin wanted to do with his son at the end of ROTJ. It was a powerful confirmation of their bond, and Din's growth as a character. The creed has all but slipped from his mind as he says his helmetless goodbye. Grogu has changed him forever, which will surely lead to new takes on the character moving forward. I don't think we've seen the last of the little guy, but naturally the storyline between Din and Grogu has come to a close, so it'll be exciting to see where the new Din is taken in Season 3. And hell, based on how this all went down, there's a chance we see Luke again too. So the whole choice to bring him back to take on Grogu's training is about as money as it gets for Star Wars fans. And to wrap this thing up, I have to also highlight the stinger. Who knew my ramblings about Bib Fortuna potentially keeping watch at Jabba's palace and charging Boba parking rent for the Slave One would actually play out in real life? I even think my dumbass hinted at Boba potentially taking the palace over. So while the scene was glorious, I also have to remind all of you of my own greatness. While the moments are few and far between, some of the nonsense I spew on the Star Wars Time show isn't so nonsensical after all. In all seriousness though, I'd love the move and can't wait to speculate on what the Book of Boba Fett will actually entail. Is it a true standalone series, giving us the 10th reveal that Disney promised us for D+? Or will it follow what my boy Nick has been saying for a while, in that new seasons of the show could focus on a different Mando character entirely? I know Boba is no Mando, but he sports the armor, so the concept of having him as the new lead would work. I personally would prefer the series to be a standalone one that crosses over with Mando again, mostly because I'm a glutton for Star Wars content, and more is always good. I just want Din to stay as our main lead and focus in Mando, but I won't be disappointed if we get more of Neo Boba either in his book or in the Mando again. Amen, Star Wars fans. What an end to an already epic season of The Mandalorian. John and Dave in particular are true Star Wars gods at this point, as is anyone else who has had a hand in this show. I don't think any of us ever truly realized the potential of the series, but in its first 16 episodes, it has proven itself to be some of the best, if not the best, Star Wars content of all time. The OT will always be special for starting it all, but this series stands alone when it comes to its overall excellence. What a time to be a fan. Make sure to tune into the next episode of the Star Wars Time Show, in which myself and my co-host Nick will fully break down The Rescue and give our thoughts on it as a whole. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subbing to our YouTube channel. We'd also love for you to join in with our weekly Star Wars podcasts, so use the links in this video's description or head to StarWarsTime.net to subscribe to the platform of your choice. There's always time for Star Wars Time, and remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you. Always.